Do you feel nervous when you try to speak English? Like, you know the words in your mind, but when you speak, nothing comes out?
Yes, that happens to so many learners. You understand English. You can even listen well. But when it's time to speak, you feel shy, stuck, or afraid to make mistakes.
Exactly, and the truth is, speaking is one of the hardest skills in English. But here's the good news. Anyone can improve their speaking with the right practice.
Yes, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need big vocabulary. You just need simple methods and daily practice.
In today's episode, we're going to show you powerful and simple ways to improve your English speaking step by step.
So if you want to speak English with more confidence and stop feeling afraid when talking,
Stay with us because this episode can change the way you speak forever.
welcome to Speak and Learn podcast. Let's start speaking better today.
All right, let's start with tip number 1. And this is the most important step if you want to improve your English speaking. You must speak every single day. Many learners wait for the perfect moment to speak. They think, I will speak when my English is better, but that moment never comes. Because the truth is, your English becomes better by speaking, not before speaking. Even if your sentences are simple, even if you make mistakes. You have to start. You can speak alone, talk to yourself, describe what you see, or repeat sentences out loud. The goal is to train your mouth and your brain to work together. Because speaking is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with daily practice.
That's so true, David. I remember when I was learning, I was always afraid to speak. I thought my English was not good enough, so I stayed silent most of the time. But staying silent didn't help me improve. It actually slowed me down. Then I started a simple habit. Every day I spoke English for just a few minutes. Sometimes I talked about my day. Sometimes I described things around me. And sometimes I just practiced simple sentences. At first, it felt uncomfortable. But after a few days, I became more confident. And after some time, speaking English started to feel natural.
Exactly, and here's something very important. Don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. In fact, they help you improve faster. When you speak every day, your brain starts to organize words more quickly. You don't have to think too much. The words begin to come naturally. But this only happens if you practice regularly. So don't wait for perfection. Start now, speak daily, and focus on progress, not perfection.
Yes, and remember, small practice is still powerful. You don't need 1 hour every day. Even 5 to 10 minutes of speaking is enough to make progress. Make it part of your daily routine. Speak in the morning, speak at night, or anytime you're free. The more you speak, the more confident you become. So start today, speak a little, stay consistent, and you will see amazing improvement in your English speaking.
All right, let's move to tip number 2, and this one is a game changer for your speaking. If you want to speak English smoothly, you must start to think in English. Many learners make a common mistake. They think in their own language first, then translate into English, and then try to speak. This process is slow, stressful, and confusing. But when you think directly in English, your speaking becomes faster and more natural. You don't need to translate. The words come directly from your mind. And the best part is, you can practice this anytime, anywhere.
Yes, I remember when I was always translating in my head. It made speaking very difficult for me. I had ideas, but I couldn't express them quickly. Then I started a simple habit. I began thinking in English during my daily life. For example, when I woke up, I said in my mind, I need to brush my teeth. When I was walking, I described things around me in English. At first, my sentences were very simple, but slowly, my brain got used to it. And after some time, I noticed something amazing. Speaking became much easier.
Exactly, and here's how you can start. Don't try to think big or complicated sentences. Start small. Think simple thoughts like, I'm hungry, I'm going to school. This is interesting. These small sentences train your brain to use English naturally. And as you improve, your thoughts will also become more advanced.
Yes, and don't worry if your English is not perfect in your thoughts. No one can hear your thoughts, so you are free to practice without fear. This is a very powerful method because you are practicing all day, not just when studying. So start thinking in English little by little, and you will see your speaking improve faster than you expect.
All right, let's move to tip number 3, and this is where your speaking becomes real. You need to practice with real conversations. Many learners practice alone, which is good, but they never speak with other people. So when it's time to have a real conversation, they feel nervous, slow, and unsure. Speaking with others trains you to listen, respond, and think quickly. It's different from practicing alone because now you have interaction. You learn how to answer questions, ask questions, and keep the conversation going. Even if your English is simple, real conversations help you grow much faster.
Yes, I agree. The first time I spoke with someone in English, I was very nervous. I was thinking too much and I was afraid to make mistakes. But something interesting happened. The more I practiced, the easier it became. I didn't need perfect grammar. I just needed to communicate. You can start with simple conversations, greetings, daily topics, or short questions. You can talk to a friend, join online speaking groups, or even use language apps. The important thing is to practice regularly with real people.
Exactly, and here's a helpful idea: don't focus on being perfect. Focus on being clear. If the other person understands you, that's success. Also, try to listen carefully during conversations. Good speaking comes from good listening. If you don't understand something, it's okay to ask, "Can you repeat that?" Or "Can you speak more slowly?" These are normal and useful phrases in real conversations.
Yes, and remember, every conversation, even short conversations, help you improve your confidence and fluency. At first, it may feel uncomfortable, but that's normal. Step by step, you will feel more relaxed and natural. So don't avoid conversations, look for them. Because real speaking practice is the fastest way to become a confident English speaker.
All right, tip number 4 is very simple, but very powerful. You need to learn and use common daily phrases. Many learners try to build long and complicated sentences, but in real life, people use simple and natural expressions. For example, "How are you?" "What are you doing?" That sounds good. When you learn these phrases and use them often, speaking becomes faster and easier because you don't need to think too much. The sentences are already in your mind.
Yes, exactly. I used to focus too much on grammar rules. I wanted every sentence to be perfect, and that made speaking very slow. But when I started learning simple daily phrases, everything changed. I could speak more naturally and with more confidence. I also practiced using these phrases in different situations, with friends, in conversations, and even when talking to myself. The more I used them, the more comfortable I became.
That's a great point. And here's a simple way to practice. Choose 5 to 10 phrases every day and try to use them again and again. Repeat them, say them out loud, and use them in real conversations. This repetition helps your brain remember them easily. And over time, you will build a strong collection of useful phrases that you can use anytime when speaking English.
Yes, and remember, speaking is not about using big words. It's about communicating clearly and naturally. So focus on simple phrases, use them every day, and enjoy the process. Because when you speak with simple and familiar expressions, your confidence will grow, and your English will sound more natural.
All right, this is our final tip, and it's one of the most important for speaking. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Many learners don't speak because they are afraid. They think, "What if I say it wrong?" Or "What if people laugh at me?" So they stay silent, and that stops their progress. But the truth is, mistakes are part of learning. Every time you make a mistake, you learn something new. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. It's completely normal. So instead of fearing mistakes, use them as a way to improve. Because the more you speak, the more you learn.
Yes, that's very true. I used to be afraid of speaking because I wanted everything to be perfect. But that fear made me quiet, and I didn't improve. Then I changed my mindset. I told myself it's okay to make mistakes, and when I started speaking more freely, I improved much faster. People understood me even when my grammar wasn't perfect, and that gave me confidence to continue practicing every day.
Exactly. And here's something important. Communication is more important than perfection. If people understand your message, that means you are successful. So don't wait to speak perfectly. Speak now. Improve later. With practice, your mistakes will become fewer and fewer. Confidence comes from action, not from waiting.
Yes, and before we finish, let's quickly remember all the tips. Speak every day. Think in English. Practice real conversations. Use simple phrases. And don't fear mistakes. If you follow these steps, your speaking will improve step by step. Thank you for listening to Speak and Learn podcast. Keep practicing, stay confident, and we'll see you in the next episode.